Hello, darlings. Today I'd like to bring you the Goth Tag. I haven't done a lot of videos about who I am as a person. They've mostly just been medical information. But I would like to talk to you guys about who I am. So this seems like a pretty easy way to start. How long have you been goth? After thinking about my past, I'm pretty sure I've been goth since I was like 3. But never able to express it because, family, society, all that jazz. I pretty much had to wait until I was 18 to even start exploring it, or else my family would have probably disapproved. How are you introduced to goth? I was very mildly introduced to it in high school because I saw some people who wore goth clothing. I heard the names of a couple of bands or a couple of well-known goth people, but I never really explored because I was worried about, not being goth enough if I decided I was goth, and I was worried about what my family would think. I've since grown out of that worry for the most part, so now that I'm an adult, I can actually express myself fully and spread my wings. What gothic subgenre would you put yourself in? None, because I hate them. Can't we just be goth, please? It's not that hard. I don't like separating ourselves off into, separate styles or anything like that. What if one day I want to dress one way and the next day I want to dress another? I would rather just call myself goth and leave room for that personal creativity depending on the moment. What do you believe to be the basis of Gothic subculture? To me, the Gothic culture is made up of lots of different components. There are 5 that I prescribe to personally, and I will leave the link for the video below, but Nephilim Incorruptus did an amazing video on the essential 5 pillars of goth, if you will. And they are as follows: a social departure from the mainstream, an aspect of morbidity, appreciation for and expression of the macabre, embracing darkness, manifest as the color black or as dark moods or dark humor, a sense of mystery, madness, or the arcane, and last, an active pursuit of making these things a part of one's everyday life. Once you have that, or notice yourself to be thinking that way, moving that way, acting that way, you're pretty much good. There is a lot of talk going on right now about the importance of music within the Gothic subculture, and it's hard for me personally to find bands that I like straight up, but I think it's very important for all goths to understand that music was a huge part. It could honestly be called the main piece that completed the puzzle that was goth back in the 80s. So it's important to at least research, understand, and pay homage to the fact that it is that important. Now, I digress. Number 5. I should probably move this back over here. It looks better. What do you what do you dislike about being goth? I don't dislike anything about being goth. What I dislike is non-matching colors of black and getting cat hair on my clothing. Those are the things that I dislike. Everybody dislikes when somebody doesn't like you, but whatever. It's really just the non-matching black clothing and the cat hair that shows up and stands out a lot. I love my orange and white cat to death, but damn. Then, what do your parents think of it? My father and I are estranged, so his opinion doesn't matter. My mom's, she's fine with it. She doesn't care. Sometimes she makes the occasional joke about, dark things, and I think it's cute. My family that I talk to, my blood family, tend to not like it very much. But they don't like it, except for my grandmother, who constantly bothers me about it. Everybody else just doesn't talk about it. And I'm good with that. I don't need to be the center of the conversation. That's fine. My style of dress does not need to be the center of the conversation. I'm good without that. The one fun thing that is having to happen is I'm having to get used to my fiance's family's opinion about it. Thankfully, I'm not alone because his sister also dresses in a very alternative style. But it's kind of hard when you're trying to impress somebody but also be yourself and just hope that they're impressed with who you are. It's a balancing act. Eyebrows or no eyebrows? I have my natural eyebrows because I cannot draw eyebrows on myself to save my soul. It just... Nope. Just doesn't happen. What is your favorite band? Now, earlier I mentioned that I have a really hard time finding a straight up band that I like, but the one that I do is Rosetta Stone. I absolutely love their music. I need more of it. That is the one goth band that I can just straight up listen to a full album of. I don't need to skip any songs. You know, I might, depending on what mood I'm in, I might want to listen to something more upbeat when one of their slower songs comes on, which is fine. I mean, that's with every band. But they're the one just straight out goth band that I can completely listen to and be perfectly fine. The rest of the time, it's, you know, a song from this band, a couple songs from this band. This band did some Gothic inspired songs, stuff like that. But Rosetta Stone is my go-to. Then, your opinion on Marilyn Manson. I don't have an opinion on him as a person or as a musician necessarily, but I do applaud that he is completely unashamedly himself. He just does what he wants to do, and everybody else gets to be okay with that or not. And I hope that we can all harness that strength and embrace that quality in ourselves and in each other. Ben, what were your baby bat days like? I honestly am not even sure if I'm done with them. Something that I actually talked with Angela Benedict about at one point briefly in one of her lives was, you know, how do you know you're done being a baby bat? And her answer is something that I can get behind. She said that when you feel comfortable explaining things to other people and don't necessarily need things explained to you, you can feel comfortable with saying you're no longer a baby bat. I still have a lot to learn. There's lots of things I still have questions about, but I'm also just a very research-oriented person. I like to learn things. So I cannot honestly say if I'm even done being a baby bat. Although I feel comfortable explaining to people, you know, if they're wondering if they're goth, I feel comfortable helping them figure that out without having to, you know, ask some other elder goth to help me, or somebody who's been in the subculture for a really long time to help me. So I might be done being a baby bat based on that. I might not. What I can tell you, you know, asking about my experience, is that I have discovered it is important to listen to lots of people's opinions upon the different things involving the goth subculture. It's important to look at multiple resources. Imagine you're researching for a college paper. For high school, it's kind of different, but imagine you're researching a college paper and you want to make sure that you don't sound like an idiot. And so you need to make sure that the information you have is correct. It's a lot like that. You're going to go to multiple sources. You're going to find people who agree with some of the things you agree with and people who don't. And it's important to take all of that in and consider it when you're learning about, you know, being actively goth. That was and still is like the biggest lesson I learned with this, but also what I still carry forward the most about, my baby bat days. It's really important to, absorb, learn all that you can. What else? Oh, the transition. Okay, so as I said before, my family didn't approve when I was growing up, and, now they don't have a choice. So that's entertaining. But the transition, when you start expressing yourself the way you want to, when you start dressing how you want to, doing your makeup how you want to, doing your YouTube lighting how you want to, candles up, anything like that. When you start doing anything like that, it's important to stay true to yourself. There are going to be people who discourage you. Don't let them. There are going to be moments when you feel like maybe being my authentic self isn't good right now. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Because you will feel so much better when you decide that you being yourself is more important than anyone else's opinion. Now, there are still cases where I dial it down, like for interviews. Getting a job is important. But when you are just around your family or your friends, try to be yourself as much as possible. If it's straight up dangerous, take care of yourself. Don't make terrible mistakes. But I decided for myself that it was more important to just be me, and that being myself mattered more. And I lost people. I lost friends. I've lost some family over it. I actually legally changed my last name to Stirling Knight, and did that ruffle feathers. That ruffled feathers so bad. I lost probably 10 people over just that, because I did something as simple as change my last name. If you're going to pledge to yourself to be who you are, you have to be all in on it. You either are or you are not. Still be selective and careful, but love yourself. And the other thing that I was, for a really long time, I was like, am I even goth? Do I count? And if you discover you're not, that's fine. Don't feel bad about that. Don't feel like you have to fit into this one thing. Find who you are. Be that person. Don't worry about anything else. But that was my goth tag. So it kind of turned into a little bit of a, not necessarily a rant, but a little bit of a telling and teaching type thing. But now you know a little bit more about me. So I love you all, and I will see you again very soon. I may even record another video after this. I don't know if I'll put it up today, but I might. I love you all. Bye.